Welcome back to Facebook Live. We're enjoying this conversation that we're having with parents and students, and we've got a couple of more guests in with us tonight now. I've got Dr. Brad Boggs, our Vice President of Dean of Student Services, and Dr. Chad Case, our Director of Housing. So what I'm going to do is just let y'all kind of start the conversation now and let us know about your areas that you're covering. Dr. Boggs, if you would start out and just give us an overview of student services.
Sure. Student services, of course, thank you for having us here tonight, and appreciate your son or daughter obviously coming to Etowah Community College and participating here and trusting us, and we're glad to have y'all here and appreciate you working with us. But saying that, student services, we work with campus police, housing with Dr. Case, athletics. We have student activities and student life rolls into that arena too, and we have a fitness center and all of that. It encompasses a lot of things, but also kind of works hand in hand with what you do as well in enrollment services. With that being said, campus police, we do hire full-time campus police officers. They're certified through the academy. We have those on all three locations. Our officers here on the Fulton campus are 24/7, so we'll always have an officer on duty at all times, even on the holidays here if students happen to stay, and of course they have to get permission to do that, but we do have them here. Tupelo and Belden, basically we have officers on duty just when the buildings are open. And once we lock buildings and close, the students are gone, then we secure the buildings and campus police is gone. They do write parking tickets, and that's the reason why we encourage students to go ahead and get decals. Those decals are required for all students to park on all three locations, Tupelo and Fulton, not Belden, and they're $20. All you do is fill out a form, and the $20 is charged automatically to their account. So there's no money that has to swap hands. They can get those forms here in Fulton in the Student Activities Building with a campus police office, where that's located. Tupelo campus, it's in the Student Services Building is where a campus police office is located. Go by to get a form, fill that out. Now, we're not going to be hard on the front end when classes start. We give students a week to kind of get initiated to the parking and getting a decal and placing that on their vehicle. So we do ask that. It's a safety measure too. It's not we're requiring this that we're wanting more money. It's a safety measure for us. And so we'd ask students to cooperate and get that.
So do the students, if they're living on campus, is it designate them to a certain zone, or does it just allow them to park on campus in general? How does that decal work?
Now, used to, we did that. We had decals specifically for housing students. That was back several years ago, but now we ask our housing students to park in their parking spots in their designated dorm room, and utilize potentially pedestrian walkways over here to get to campus. But we also understand that it's going to pour in the rain and the inclement weather. We're not hard-nosed about that. Now, what we do try to ask is our commuter students not use the dorm parking lots for parking, because there's plenty of parking available without them using the dorm parking lots, the commuter students. So, we're not really hard-nosed about it. We're not sitting here trying to check and see if someone's parking in the dorm parking lots necessarily to play gotcha, a commuter student. But again, that's just kind of how we've followed with that. So there's really not any designated parking per se, except for our dorm students. Campus police, they do a lost and found, but also, again, we just ask they have this emergency cell phone number. And those are published on our website, as well as, of course, when you get here, that when your son or daughter, when they get to campus, we can give you those numbers. And we ask them to program that number in their phone, especially here in Fulton, because 24/7 they're going to have that phone, and they can just hit that button, call campus police. If they need anything, we will arrive and go and help them any way we can. Same with Tupelo, again, and Belden, they have a campus police cell phone number, so program those in their phones. We do have an alert system here that helps notify students in the event of such as inclement weather. Students will automatically be signed up for that. As a new student, it's a free service with our current students too. And they automatically are signed up for that service. And we ask basically at the beginning of the semester, they go into their My Tribe account And at the bottom, once they log in, there's a little tag down there that says ICC Alert. Click on that and just go back in and check your contacts and ensure that they are correct, that's got your cell number in there, the student cell number in there, so that way they're receiving the alerts, because that's what's going to be important. They can also choose the methods of communication to get those alerts. It's always going to come to their ICC email, but if they don't want to get, per se, a phone call, they just want a text, they can get that. And so we encourage them to go in there at the beginning of the semester and go ahead and set those so that way they can get any of those emergency messages. And again, it's for inclement weather. Should we have snow or ice? That's how we use to communicate to the masses in a hurry that, hey, college is closed, for today. Don't get out on those messy roads. So the alert system is real good to have. We encourage everyone to have it. Employees have it as well. We do have a student guide and of course, ICC catalog, but we have the student guide, and that kind of has the student code of conduct in there. Again, I hate to say, I don't want anyone to think that we're hard-nosed here, but we do have a code of conduct. We do have expectations. Just as students have expectations of us as a college when they come here, we have expectations of students. They're not anything that are hard to follow or anything like that, but it's just great to read over those and be aware of some of those things. It also has the parking guidelines in that student guide, the parking regulations, things of that nature, the different citations. It has a plethora of information in there about financial aid. It has some in there about our student policies in there, gender-based misconduct policy. Title IX information is available in there for these students. So I encourage students to look that up. It is not a hard copy anymore. We quit doing that years ago because it changes so often. It changes throughout the year. It's available on our website under ICC Publications. You go to that link and you can find our student guide at all times. You can download it, you can print it off if you want, but you can always access it at any time. We also, again, I'd like to mention our athletic program. Very proud of our athletic program here at the college. We have 11 programs now. Of course, we implemented women's volleyball. We're excited. We're going to start that this fall. And so this will be the first season for women's volleyball. And so we are really looking forward to that. We've got recruits coming in. 11 programs that we have, starting with women's volleyball, football, and men's and women's soccer coming up in the fall. So we'll be busy there. So we have a great, great athletic staff as well as a great sports information staff as well who put this information out there and listen to them live on the radio and on the website. And they're great. They really are. So we have an exciting events that we do. Football is going to kick off, and all of these great things are going to happen. We ask students to come out and join us, and the parents and to come join us too. As of right now, that's what we're planning to do going forward in the fall. Now, I'm not saying things couldn't change, as we know, due to the situations that we're dealing with. But right now, we're planning to go forward. I will say June 19th, there's going to be, there's supposed to be some type of the NJCAA is going to make a little ruling on some things and schedules, and if we have to adapt, we will. We'll make changes. But right now, we're planning to compete and go full force with our athletics starting in the fall. So, again, looking forward to that and getting back there as well. Student activities, I'm really not going to touch much on that. I know Mr. Hartfield is going to come in later and discuss some of that, but I do encourage students to get engaged and get involved while on campus, and that's going to be with our resident hall directors that Dr. Case will talk about. We do have those resident hall directors who work with Mr. Hartfield to help get students involved and engaged. That's important. Dr. Summerall mentioned the instructional aspect of it. It's also important for them to get involved and be engaged while they're on campus. And that helps them to be successful while they're here and leads to graduation. So I don't want to dominate the conversation, Dr. Howell, but I'll kind of cut it off a little bit right there. And if you got questions or anything, please let me know.
Well, we did mention earlier that we've had a task force at ICC that's been working on what our plans you mentioned as of right now. So those things are changing. We've got faculty, staff, and students that have been involved in that task force. Absolutely. And today on our website, we posted our first bit of information regarding that, but we know that is going to be a changing thing. You mentioned the 19th. There may be some things that are changing, and we will always be looking at how we need to adjust based on the governor's office and the CDC and all that, but So I guess it's safe to assume that y'all are taking all that into consideration as well, and it's really an evolving thing right now.
It really is. We've this task force worked very hard and continues to work hard going forward to ensure that we are taking every measure possible to provide a safe campus climate for the student body when they get here. We really want students to come and experience college life because I think that's what it's all about. Again, along with the educational aspect of it, but we really want them to come here and experience college. But yes, we also have to take into consideration CDC guidelines and those guidelines set out from the Mississippi Department of Health. And we will always keep that going, and we'll keep an eye on that as going forward. But we will do everything within our power to continue to roll forward and provide a safe campus climate for our students here and our faculty and staff as well. We'll do what we need to do and do everything we can. That task force has been very good. I can't thank them enough as well for what they have done and what we will continue to do going forward as we will adapt. I know Dr. Case has some great ideas that they have put forward in housing. That was included that they're discussing and that they're planning and trying to come together with. So I won't steal thunder from him, but again, I know safety is a main priority. Of course, I'm sure cafeteria is one of those things that people are going to wonder about, and I can address that. What we know right now, and working with Sodexo, our food services people. Right now, they're working, and we have been working. They put forth that plan, our proposal, and we're working to ensure, again, safe guidelines within the cafeteria, as well as our grill here on the Fulton campus. And then we've got a new cafeteria that will open up in the new building on the Tupelo campus. And so we're excited about that as well. But housing students, which Dr. Case will touch on as well, or I'll just mention this, we got 2 meal options, which is a 5-day or a 7-day meal option. And of course, we were really able to expand that this year, and we've got some grill options that we've been able to put out there, and we've had students who go in there and pick up snacks and things like that. So again, exciting things there. We will continue to work forward on safety and ensuring we're following guidelines.
Well, let's go ahead and just pitch it over to Dr. Case. If you'll talk to us about housing, move-in dates, room assignments. I know that's the hot topic now because we're coming up on that. Just kind of give us an overview of housing and tell us what we know right now.
Okay. At ICC, we house 1,000 students. We're a large residential community college. Although we house 1,000 students and are a large community college, our housing assignments fill up quickly. So the most important thing is to get your application and deposit in as soon as possible. As far as dates, we hope to get those out this week, fingers crossed. As soon as the committee, the task force approves everything, we'll get those dates out and get them published, get them on the website. Students will receive their assignment via email, and we will mail a hard copy letter. If you don't get an assignment early on, we will send you a waiting list letter. Don't panic. The most important thing there is don't panic. We do have a lot of sophomores and juniors in high school that put in applications. And as a sophomore in high school, we know that things change. Life changes. Life happens. We may decide to go somewhere else. We may decide to live off campus. So don't panic. We'll work through that waiting list fairly quickly. We have 3 female halls, Itawamba, Monroe Annex, and Sheffield, and then 4 male halls, Pontotoc, Monroe, Lee, and Chickasaw. And as Dr. Boggs mentioned, for the first time, we will have full-time hall directors that will work closely with Jake Hartfield and student activities, and they'll put on programs. Their primary responsibility will be to manage that building and the students inside that building. So they'll be putting on programs. Hopefully we'll be able to do 9 to 10 a semester. They'll be both educational and social, popcorn socials, ice cream socials. They'll hit on drunk driving, dating violence, just to name a few of the things that they'll be implementing into their calendar, I guess you'd say. Dates. I know we're getting a lot of questions about move-in dates. Again, The task force, as soon as those are approved, we hope to get those out as soon as possible. And again, hopefully we get those out this week.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about, just getting onto the back end of some things. If the student is living on campus, is there a minimum number of hours that they're required to be enrolled in at ICC? Can you talk about that?
Yes, ma'am. When you're going through orientation, make sure that you sign up for a minimum of 15 hours 15 total hours. 9 of those 15 have to be traditional classes, or you can be enrolled full time in a health program or child care. As long as you're full time in a program, we'll work with you. But as far as in general, 15 total hours, 9 of those must be traditional classes.
Okay, and so you talked about move-in day. Tell me, what typically do students bring with them when they come to move in?
Well, that varies. We'll have some that will bring their entire wardrobe. I'd advise against that. Just bring your seasonal wardrobe. We do have stuff in the rooms as far as a wardrobe, 3-drawer chest, beds, they're extra long twin, desk and a chair. So the rooms are not designed to hold additional furniture, so it'd be kind of hard to put a futon in there. We're not going to say you can't bring a futon. If you can find a place to put it, certainly you can bring it. We do ask that when you check out, you take it with you and not leave it for us to deal with. But the rooms are just designed just primarily for the furniture that is already in there. So we've had students bring bare minimum and live very comfortably, and we've had students bring anything that you can think of, and it gets kind of crowded and cramped. But clothes, I wouldn't bring the entire wardrobe. Just come seasonally prepared.
What about refrigerators, microwaves, TVs? What about things like
You
that?
can bring microwave, refrigerator. The refrigerators we ask not to be larger than 4.2, I think it's cubic feet. And then you can have a little microwave you can set on top of that. TVs, absolutely, bring your TV. Again, we've had students bring 30-inch TVs up to as big as you can fit them through the door. Again, I wouldn't advise bringing a really nice, large TV to the residence halls. There's just a lot of things that could happen. Just bring a average size TV if you want to watch TV or movies or anything like that. One thing I do want to mention is the college does offer a streaming service, movies.iccms.edu, and you can stream. It's just like a Netflix or a Hulu. You just log on and you can watch any movie that's currently out, any TV show, anything like that. And the college does put all of our athletic events on this streaming site as well. So if as long as you're on campus, you can watch anything you want to, basically.
Okay. Well, kind of going back to our safety discussion, tell me about how do students get access into their building? Is it locked at all times? Can they come freely in? What about visitation, things like that?
6 out of 7 of our buildings. Pontotoc is the only motel-style residence hall. When you enter Pontotoc through the gate, you have a key to get into your room. The other 6 buildings, you have a Prox card that will give you access to the front door or back door, and then you have a key to get into your room. So 2 safety features there. You have the Prox card to get into the building, and then a key to get into the room.
And when will they get those cards?
That is in discussion right now. As soon as we can get the dates aligned and get those published, then we will start working with enrollment services on the orientation dates, and maybe set some dates aside for students to come on campus to get their cards. If not, the proposal is to have a move-in week, so to speak, and then that will get students on campus early enough that they can come and get their card that morning or that afternoon so they can eat, get into their building. But they won't be locked out of their buildings. We'll make sure that the buildings are open a certain amount of time and give them plenty of time to get their Prox card.
Okay, great. So as we've been saying, information is changing on a daily basis. And as you know, ever since March, I feel like we've all been just kind of evolving. If people do have questions about housing or about student services in general, can you just speak to the parents that are watching right now? How can they best communicate with you? How would you prefer for them to call or email or get in touch?
As far as housing is concerned, call or email is fine. You can call, my number is 862-8232, or you can email housing, that's HOUSING, @iccms.edu. And somebody in the housing department will respond to you no later than a day.
Okay, great. What about you, Dr.?
Yeah, please call at any time. My number is 662-862-8271. Call me at any time. And of course, my email address is located on the website. I don't try to go through that because I got too many B's and D's in there and some people might not get it. But please access it on the website. I'd love to talk with anyone at any time. If you have questions further, I know there's not going to be everything that we're going to address in here today or that Dr. Case and I could cover in this time frame. And I mean, we'd be on here all night if we did. But there will be further questions. And please, that's the main thing that I always ask parents as well as students, communicate with us, talk. It's so much easier when we're able to talk and have those conversations on the front end when they have questions, as opposed to that student or that parent sitting out there wondering and then not asking that question and then it just kind of bubbling up to the surface later. And, and that student felt lost or that parent felt lost during that time. So again, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Housing, whether it be in housing or whether it be with me, whether it be in athletics, please reach out at any point in time. Our campus police officers, like I said, that you've got their cell numbers or you can find them on our website. Just communicate with us is all I ask, and please do that going forward.
Sounds good. And for any parents that are watching right now, we've set up an exclusive email address for you to contact us, and it's parents@iccms.edu, and you can send your questions directly to that. I will be answering those, and I can either forward those out if there are questions I can't answer, or I can get the answer and I'll respond to you. So thank y'all for your time right now. We're going to take another break, and we'll bring in our next guest. Thanks.